had said you were in the Army, correct?
That's right. Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah. When was it?
I joined in 1969.
Okay.
The draft was still on. I got drafted after I flunked out of college and decided I didn't want to be an infantryman, which was likely, so I went ahead and joined and got more of a choice of the kind of job I would have.
I was in the United States Navy for 6 years, 8 months, 29 days, but who was counting? I was actually working construction here in Chicago, and on September 11th, I was up on a rooftop in Skokie, September 11th, 2001, and I noticed there was a weird sound. The normal sort of sound of jet traffic that you have over Skokie and the north side of Chicago was completely gone. And I heard this really weird noise, and I looked up, and there was an F-16 in the sky over Skokie. Well, this isn't right. So I just sat there and watched the news that night and started thinking about enlisting, and a couple weeks later, I did it.
I ended up testing pretty well for languages, so they sent me to a language school, which was a branch specializing in Vietnamese. So I ended up being a Vietnamese linguist, basically. I was part of an organization in the Army called the Army Security Agency, which intercepted radio messages, basically. Our station in Vietnam and the one in Thailand, too, we would get these intercepts on, transcribed on paper. They were all encrypted, and sometimes they would be broken out. Sometimes the encryption method was only partially understood, so they would give it to us anyhow, and we would try to see if we could figure out, generally what they were saying. Well, since I didn't experience, a lot of traumatic episodes when I was in the service, I didn't have that kind of thing, but there were, incidents with veterans who, did have much more trouble than I did, and but I didn't have trouble sleeping or didn't have flashbacks or that kind of thing. So it wasn't bad.
The first time I went home and went to the grocery store, where it's so brightly lit and there's so much food and it's so clean and there's no dirt in did I mention that it's brightly lit? Yeah. And climate controlled? I mean, it blew my mind. I mean, I was so disoriented just in the grocery store. Mm-hmm. It was a really strange experience dealing with civilians again, and driving down the street without worrying about being blown up. It's a good adjustment, mm-hmm. But it's also strange. Most of them are us on observation posts. We would just go up into the mountains and look around and keep an eye on things. So we'd have these little camps that we built on mountain peaks, and we operated them jointly with Afghan forces. And so a lot of them are just pictures of us clowning around and hanging out. There's also the one of me seeing Billy for the first time. I was deployed when he was born. He was born in September. I didn't get back until December, and seeing him for the first time was really, really amazing.
I found out I was good at languages, so I went back and decided to study Chinese language, which is what I did. I had most of my basic, distribution requirements out of the way, so I could progress pretty quickly, and so I got my got an undergraduate degree in Chinese in a couple years, I guess, and then a master's. So I ended up at Penn, University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, did a PhD in history, and came here, and I've been here ever since.